just doing this.
Well,
Happens.
you've seen the spot before. They're going to see the spot again.
Oi.
Okay, you're live.
I don't believe you.
Hello, everybody.
I just did it.
Liar.
Just did it.
Don't do it.
It just did it.
What'd it do?
Oh,
Did
no.
the thing.
We disconnect?
It got mad.
Did the disconnect?
Yep.
Oh, just in time.
X-ray.
Walk in the frame and be like, oh, hey, found you. Nice to see you. Here we go. So you cue me.
Okay, they can hear you. I'll cue you.
Oh, it's a beautiful day. It's a lovely day out here in Boston. I wonder where we can... Oh, hey, I didn't see you over there. Come on. How's it going? Nice to have you with us. You're watching Hypocritic GG live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lou Cheatspeak. We are here at PAX East 2025. You can tell by the X, but it's not just me. Who else we got here? We're right around here somewhere.
Who else is here?
I don't know. I got to find... Who was that voice in my... Ooh, there was like a voice directly in my eardrums.
Where did it come from?
I don't know. Maybe they should reveal themselves.
Maybe they will.
Who could this be? Who could this be?
What's
Big
up,
reveal.
everybody? It's Teresa Siri Serial here.
Wow. We here. And guess who's holding that camera? Because it's not us.
It ain't us.
Nobody's here.
Nobody?
Nobody here.
Oh.
Oh, there it is. It's Justin. It's Save the Baloney. It's all your Hippo friends. And we're back once again. We're going to give you our annual show floor tour of PAX East. It's 2025. It's 1 year later than when we did this last year. So we're going to do it again this year, and we're going to have a great time. We're going to tour through the different kind of parts and segments of the show floor, talk about some of the other ancillary things in the side rooms that we're probably not going to show, but we'll at least discuss. You can go look at our live stream from last year where I think we did that a little more comprehensively. Shall we?
We shall.
Yeah, let's go. So if you're not familiar... And
So mad. So mad.
It'll be okay.
Don't be
this little
mad.
gimbal boy.
Don't be mad. Get glad.
We need a stronger gimbal, I guess.
Yes. We do the best we can with what we got. If you're not familiar with PAX East, you're probably watching the wrong stream, but just in case, it is one of the largest gaming conventions, if not the largest gaming convention on the East Coast of these United States, held in the beautiful Boston, Massachusetts area for, many, many, many years. I can't even recall when the first one was. 2010, 2012?
10.
Our
No.
first one
Your first one.
was 2015, but it obviously was happening.
So last year was 20 years of PAX, so 2004.
And that was the first one in Seattle, when it was PAX Prime or something similar. East,
The Penny Arcade Expo.
yes, the Penny Arcade Expo, 2010-ish. Let's go with that. I should know my history by now. But observe the wonderful, beautiful show floor. Familiar names, new names,
Old names.
old names, names in the middle, games you've seen for years, games you've never seen before. This is the hallmark of it. We're going to walk you through sort of the three distinct areas of the show floor. You're going to have your bigger booths right up front here, right as you come down the main escalators. We're going to have Indie Alley that we're going to walk through in the middle of the show floor, and then we're going to get more into tabletop vendors and food and nourishment of all kinds, talk about what's kind of different on this specific show floor relative to other years, recap some of the experience, and leave the rest of that for our recap podcast, which you will want to check out here on the channel when we get that going. Wow.
Just give me a minute. Just
Okay.
give me one,
No, it's okay.
1 minute.
Baloney.
Shield your eyes, everyone. Shield your eyes.
From what? Oh, God.
No. It looks wonderful.
We're doing so good. I bet you didn't know this was a vertical live stream.
That's just for the TikTok crowd. That one.
Okay.
bit.
Just
That one moment.
Right? It's all good. So you're going to see, like I said, a lot of familiar names. One of the big themes here that I've seen this year is you're starting to see some of those, familiar PC vendors and accessory makers returning to the show. We're going to talk about this quite a few times as we go, but hearing from many disparate sources, vendors, longtime attendees, whatever, that this is one of the healthiest PAXs that we've had in terms of PAX East in many, many years, potentially pre-pandemic even. So that's exciting. We're going to prove that to you as we walk through here. But a really, really exciting and interesting show floor with a lot of cool stuff to show.
For sure.
On the floor. Follow along. We're starting at Larian Studios once again, showing Baldur's Gate 3 to the masses. The game has been out for a couple of years,
the one with the giant worm?
This is the one with the giant worm.
No, this isn't the one with
No,
the
it's not
giant
one with the giant
worm. We'll get to the worm.
We'll show you the giant worm.
I think that Larian is here so many times because they really don't want that booth to go to waste.
They are maximizing the investment in that booth.
Exactly,
That is 100% true. But it continues to get a lot of attention. They do, cosplay events at the booth. It's pretty elaborate, and people just like being absorbed into the experience.
It already gave up.
Okay.
Oh, no.
That's fine. Hey. Chocobo here, Magic the Gathering, the Final Fantasy partnership, taking up
I see no Chocobo.
multiple
It says
sides.
Chocobo.
Booth on both sides. Let's go on the signage. Yes.
I can't help it if they're not truthers.
if they're not telling it like it TI is, that's okay. Follow along. Lining the main areas you see that we're going to walk by, a ton of names you will potentially know, a lot of indie vendors, which has really become a hallmark of East. It always has been, but especially in the past few years, as a lot of those big names, your Microsofts, your Sonys, your Nintendos, haven't shown or haven't had the presence that they used to. You're going to find that the emphasis has really become indie focused.
Is that Gex playing Bubsy 3D?
I believe Gex is playing Bubsy 3D. So we've just stumbled upon history in the making here, folks. Let's step back. Let's give this earth-shaking opportunity a little room to breathe. Soak it in for yourselves, folks. It's tail time.
It is tail time.
You can see that crowds have gathered and content is being created around Gex playing Bubsy here on the show floor.
Is it a little paradoxical or is it in tune?
I think this is synergy of the highest order.
Okay.
And I haven't even gotten to their Bubsy re-release yet. So I'm glad that Gex has had the opportunity to experience it.
PS1ception.
It is
indeed PS1ception.
Oh, well, if it was Bubsy 3D, that would be
Correct.
That would be the ception part. But I like where your head's at.
It's a good head there.
All of these additional vendors and a lot of these sort of booths that you will see a lot with elaborate setups, a lot of very nice looking PCs. Some more elaborate than others, a lot of theming, a lot of beautiful bright lights and theming as
I
mentioned.
ran away.
Just
I'm
a
sorry.
massive, not food truck.
It's a food truck. What are you talking about?
Is it actually?
I don't know.
In the back it says so.
If you say it with conviction, they'll believe it with conviction.
Yeah, you just have to feel like you're 100% right, and then you're 100% right. That's how the world works now.
Well, here we are.
I'm going to ruin this one more time. I'm sorry. This is the last time, I promise.
Look away.
After this, he's just going to throw it into the sun.
Look away.
That's right.
Yeah. The gimbal might go into this one. Enjoy the accordion, if you can hear that in the background. Whoop. Hey.
There we go. Welcome back to the proper.
Let's take a stroll.
Oh, we're going
here.
this way. Goodness gracious.
You're going to notice. Now we do these at different times, in different years. This is coming to you obviously if you're watching live on Sunday afternoon. It's currently about 3:36 Eastern Time. So we're pretty late in the day on Sunday, which is a little more sparsely populated anyway. It's not the busiest day. It's not the slowest day. This Sunday in particular has been
chill.
Pretty chill, and I think a lot more chill than any of us were expecting. A couple different reasons for that. We're told there are potentially not as many international attendees as perhaps there would be, especially given its proximity to places like Canada, for worldly reasons. And it's Mother's Day today, so happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there who happen to be momming or have mommed already.
When you mom, you got a mom. I don't know.
When you mom, you got a mom. And then, of course, like we were saying, this first initial area of the show floor is where you see most of your larger accessory and PC makers, as well as your big-name titles. A couple of them on the show floor this year, one of which is Dune Awakening, which has one of the most impressive booth showings. I think that is a massive worm. They're sinking cities with a giant worm, but we knew this. And it's very impressive. We're talking about the giant worm. Can we take a look at the giant worm? This is the worm.
Are we going into the worm?
We can take a look at the worm. You want to get up close with the worm?
Is this closer than I've ever been?
This is closer than I don't think we've actually gotten onto the worm yet. Which you can't because it's roped off. But when you approach the worm, this is about as good as you're going to do. You can gaze into the abyss. Get a good gaze into the abyss.
If you have a high enough vertical leap, you could get in there.
If your jump shot is solid, you can get right up into the worm. And then what happens there, I can't help you. Major kind of accessory row here and PC Maker row, Alienware, Samsung, and Legion all behind us. And as we sort of slowly
peruse,
give a look-see, giveaways and competitions at pretty much all of these booths. Samsung's been running giveaways that are reliant on you filling out surveys, playing in a claw machine to potentially get like Funko Pops, and Legion, a Lenovo Legion, running giveaways and contests where you have to basically set an elimination record in Splitgate 2, which we've taken part in generously throughout the weekend.
It's at 44 right now.
44. Now it's bots, so the high numbers make sense. It's not, PvP, as in another live physical player.
To you, maybe.
Well, but here we are. We tried a few times. Obviously, haven't walked away with anything, or you would have heard about it by now. But it was fun anyway, and she was largely doing the best out of the group here.
What was my best number? 29 or 26?
26.
I think it was 26.
Something like that. High 20s. So that's very good. And honestly, one of the most fun kind of booth presences that are here. Splitgate 2 is an excellent game. We streamed it during the closed alpha, and we will certainly have more of it when the open beta starts at the end of the month. So that'll be fun. We'll be sinking our teeth. But yeah, pretty good showing, at least from those accessory and PC makers who, again, maybe weren't here as much or as prominently in recent years, but they're definitely coming back.
Yeah, they are. Let's hope they keep coming back.
That would be nice. The general feeling is that a lot of the momentum that all sort of live events lost over the past few years is largely back as of this year. And that's really encouraging to see, because as we've talked about in previous show floor walkthroughs and discussions like this, it really did feel like in a lot of ways the show just hadn't really risen back to the level that it was at for various reasons. It's attendee count, it's the exact vendors that are here, it's all the different events that are or are not taking place. So it can be challenging to consider, the long-term ramifications of that. Is it really ever going to get back to where it was? And the consensus from people that we've talked to seems to be that, yeah, it kind of is.
No.
Yeah.
Reddit's no, never.
Have a look at
Reddit's mad.
Reddit. Well,
but Reddit's always mad. So
that can't be your barometer for anything. Indie Alley, and the beginning of it here, where you see smaller publishers and in some cases 1, 2, 3-person teams bringing their wares and finding a little booth space and allowing people to go hands-on with their stuff potentially for the first time. We've had a lot of initial public showings that we've rolled out and will continue to roll out in terms of developer interviews and hands-on previews. Always exciting, and this is arguably the most interesting and fun part of PAX East, is discovering new indie games, new publishers, new developers, new teams that you've never heard of before, who have never made a game before, and you get the opportunity to try out what they're working on, discover something brand new, some genre-busting experience, some ridiculous thing that you never thought possible, and it's always very, very fun. And it's very it's very active.
It scared me. I was so concerned. I was like, what is happening?
I was a little worried.
A little bit more of a walk.
Yeah, we should show the rest of the larger booth space here, if for no other reason than to highlight the Elden Ring Dome.
I've heard it's underwhelming.
I've also heard that.
I haven't heard anything about it, so I'll defer to you all on that one. But it is just a very, very large dome that you can kind of see through the slit It's not playable, right? It's just
I think they take a group. I think one person does get to play it. I think that's part of the underwhelming part.
That's ass.
Again, this is not first-hand experience. Your mileage may vary.
And it's coming out at the end of the month, so it's not like you have a whole lot longer to wait if that's something that you're interested in. But obviously a ton of people have Elden Ring. I could imagine sharing their disappointment if they were expecting to play something like this and you just kind of have to watch it in a dome after standing, assumedly, for a very long time in Line Simulator, which is the PAX East experience.
The convention experience, to be fair.
Generally, yeah. It could be anything like this. We walked by the Pokemon Play Lab previously as well, and Pokemon's kind of standalone. Just want to make sure we mention that because this is, the 4th, 5th, 6th time that exact Play Lab has been here. And the sort of standalone big booth space where it just kind of lists off the Pokemon games across time. There's a photo opportunity and a little merch outlet.
You can buy packs and retail
The
value.
merch outlet is out of packs, actually. There are no more packs to buy. It's just free hats now.
All right, free hats.
Well, you can...
Free cardboard hat.
Free cardboard hat. Yeah, we've seen a lot of them. The Evolutions have been walking around, and there's even a couple right behind us here. Some people will grab those on the way swinging around. There are quite a few, so you'll earmark them.
It's still a lot of Mortal Kombat in my ears.
There's a lot of more. It's basically Mortal Kombat. Is that legal? That doesn't look like Mortal Kombat. Let's continue on. We're gonna probably swing through and then dart through part of Indie Alley. So again, you can kind of get a feel for some of what the show floor is like this year. It should be very similar to our past show floor tours. The setup and layout is pretty much consistent year to year, so it's really just a matter of what booths are where, who's attending, who's not. If there's anything of note, that dramatically changes. But a lot of the routine attendees like Devolver Digital here as we walk by bring a very similar setup every year because these sort of convention stand-ups are expensive and obviously take a lot of time to produce. So the familiarity is good, I think, in that sense. And you have those mainstays like Devolver and like other publishers who really take full advantage of the show, who use it to great ends in promoting their products and making it a fun experience for people. They have the marquee setup that they've had for a long time and sort of dedicated space to check out their stuff, which is always very fun. And then, of course, right behind them is everything from the PAX Rising Showcase, which is, generally tiny little games from very, very independent or standalone development teams trying to get their wares out there, and we've seen some incredible stuff over the years there. We'll take you on a tour of that as we continue to make our way toward the back of the convention hall. Shall we continue? Ooh.
Did you just ooh-woo the camera?
I said, shall we continue? Ooh. Well,
I can't believe he just ooh-wooed you guys. I am
joked.
so sorry. There will be a class action lawsuit next week.
I will plead guilty immediately.
All right, the payout is $2 billion. How many people are in this class action lawsuit? 4?
You? You just want $2 billion.
Who doesn't?
That's fair. That's very fair.
All right.
All right, enough of that. Indie Alley, again, this is sort of the meat and potatoes of a lot of the PAX experience that you'll see year on year. A great opportunity to explore things you've probably never heard of, or maybe something that's sort of either gone viral or picked up a lot of traction, where they're now starting to dot the convention landscape a little more aggressively.
Cat Secretary.
With things like Cat Secretary. And it gives you a lot of opportunity to explore genres and developers and ideas that you never would otherwise come across.
Is there a lot happening at the arena or something? Because this...
It's the Tekken finals, I think.
That's scary.
We'll get to the PAX Arena shortly here, and you'll understand the chaos that you can probably hear as a din roar in the background. But as we stroll on here, it's not just video games at PAX East. While that is the primary thrust of it, there's a lot of tabletop vendors and accessory makers here as well.
They heard you like dice, so they put a lot of dice in.
I heard you like dice. So as you walk by everything, again, a lot of mainstays here. Q Workshop, Dispel, Dice Dungeons, you name it. A lot of those big names that you'll see also at places like West and Unplugged and other more tabletop-focused events are going to be here and are going to be slinging their goodies, and we've certainly got our fair share of stuff this year, as we always do.
We got a lot of dice.
unless it's a specific accessory or something, PC related that we need, I often find that we walk away with more tabletop stuff than a lot of video game stuff. And Unplugged tends to be at least my most expensive con of just buying everything, walking out with a ton of board games. Not to say that there's not a lot to sink your wallet into at East, but that's just sort of how it
plays out
across time. Yeah. More. I know you want more. I know you want to see more. Come on. Don't be afraid. Again, there's many aisles worth of...
It lasted so long the second time. We're going to try it again.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Stand by.
Sure. Sloop.
Good slurp.
We love a good sloop.
Onward.
And upward?
Sure.
Not too much. Gravity gets
Fix your vertical leap. Get in the worm.
Get your jump shot straight. And it's more of the same. More tabletop vendors, generally on our left. More Indie Alley on our right. And then you come across a little space to breathe. A little room to catch your breath.
So much room for activities. Not as breathtaking today, since it is much less busy than it was, especially yesterday. Saturday was the only day of this that was sold out, to be upfront about that. So obviously it's going to be very packed, and you can barely see the floor on a lot of the booths and areas down here. So when it is a little more sparse like this, you really appreciate the open areas. But this is the PAX Arena behind us, and it looks like, based on the timing here, we are down into the top 8 for the Almost Pro 10K Tekken Open. And you'll often see at the PAX Arena a lot of these very competitive games having either Pro-Am tournaments or some sort of big jackpot or prize at the end. And you can see, I don't know if you can see the bracket up there, but they're currently showing who's where.
I'm trying.
It's okay.
Looks like we're at round 4.
Okay, so we might be down into top 4 or top 8 or something like that.
I can't read it.
We were in the top 8 at 2:30, and it's now almost 4 o'clock, so we got to be wrapping up on that.
Pretty close, yeah.
Excellent. But it is, by the end of, this is one thing, as tournaments progress, a lot of them take multiple days to progress and finish up, and this was a very large tournament. The qualifiers were yesterday morning, it looks like, according to the board, and even Friday. So this has been a convention-long event, and you'll see toward the end of it, as you get to Top Cut, Day 2, Day 3, you'll see more attendance, and you'll see it's pretty well populated at this point. It gets hype, because there's a lot on the line. These are very competitive games. These are people doing their best. Full commentating booths and personalities on display as well. It is where the hype goes, amongst other places, which we'll talk about some of the side activities here at PAX as well. It's not just the show floor. We'll primarily be showing you that this time around, but there are hallways upon hallways of side rooms and fun additional activities that you want to make sure you don't miss. Tournaments are obviously a big one, both physical console and handheld. We did the Mario Kart 8 tournament as we usually do yesterday, and I was top 8 in that, which was nice. And that's pretty good. Arcade and console free play is a big draw. So for console free play, they have all your sort of modern, up to date, PlayStations, Xboxes, Switches. You check out a game at the desk or see what's preloaded on the console. You play it for a certain amount of time. You give it back. World spins madly on. Great way to try out something you've wanted to test for a while. Just experiment or chill out. You're bored playing games at a convention. Go play some games. Isn't that fun? Arcade free play is fun. It's literally just a free arcade. Everything's
Everything's wide open. They had Super Monkey Ball, which was really cool.
They did. The original, this is what really just tickled my fancy. It was the original, you'll know Super Monkey Ball from the GameCube, obviously, and the many games since, but it started in Japan in 1999 as a dedicated arcade cabinet just called Monkey Ball with a banana as a joystick, which is just amazing.
And one button just to select.
And one button to select, because it's Monkey Ball. You
don't need
Monkey
anything
Ball.
else.
It was magical. And maybe not calibrated super duper well,
No, it was fine. You just have to be used to it, I think. I think, like, if you played it a lot, you'd be perfectly fine.
There is a little bit of difference with that compared to, like, your GameCube controller analog stick, but it was incredible. And other stuff that you wouldn't normally find, like Balloon Fight Versus. There were dedicated Versus cabinets back in the 1980s of NES classics, like Balloon Fight, like Ice Climbers, probably, a bunch of other ones, where you would play head-to-head on different sides of this little pod, and it was super, super cool. In addition to your usual ones like X-Men and Street Fighter 2 or whatever else. So it was
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hi.
Do we have any way to read the comments?
Yeah, I have it up on my phone right now on
Let's see
YouTube.
what we got going on.
that's a great idea. Good call out from behind the camera. Are you
We
coming
go
up in here?
to
Hey,
live,
hey.
And then we're going to go open
Hey,
Twitch.
hey, hey. Hope you all are enjoying out there. We're coming to you later than we usually do these. This is late Sunday afternoon, and the con actually closes in about 2 hours. So it all wraps up very soon, so we're getting this in right at the end. Might not be the pattern going forward for other shows that we attend for the rest of the year and beyond. Probably looking to move up the show floor tours.
To show you stuff on, like, Thursday.
Exactly.
Friday for West, huh?
Exactly. So give you a little poke and prod to show up yourself if you're so inclined, and make it fun for everyone, fun for the whole thing. It's a family show,
Or demand content.
or demand content. That's all fair.
It's all up to you, really.
Yeah. Any blasts from the internet?
No internet blasts.
That's fine. It's all.
I checked both.
Most of this excels.
It's a weird time. People have bombs.
People have moms. I don't begrudge anybody, but I secretly do. But I
Mom
don't.
Day.
It's
Happy Mom Day to all the moms.
Congratulations, moms. Good job, moms. Good mom. Thumbs up for mom. Now we're in the dedicated tabletop space, which is basically the back third of the PAX East show floor. And again, it's going to be most of the usual vendors that you see, largely accessory makers, some game publishers bringing their own things. Floodgate, for example, who we've worked with a few times, on top of many other vendors, although they're generally mixed in the actual games themselves in Indie Alley and that kind of second portion that we just walked through. This is generally a bit more sort of merchandise and accessories, meeples, figurines, and dedicated spaces for unique trading card games themselves. Again, not as much as you would see at something like Unplugged, but there are, dedicated areas like you can see for Star Wars Unlimited, Magic the Gathering, maybe Lorcana, or one or two others.
Do you like a popular AP? There's a trading card game for that.
More now than ever.
More now than ever. If you
More soon than ever.
take a look at Hypocritic GG on YouTube and our most recent interview with Riftbound and Riot Games, a new physical TCG coming based on the League of Legends IP.
Sorry, I got distracted by pins. I'm
She
back.
got distracted by pins, but we're good. We're just touring. We're just walking around. Tabletop free play.
Very shiny dice.
Very shiny dice. And again, more and more vendors, more and more accessories. And again, you can see there's Floodgate, but mostly accessories and consumables of all sorts.
Do you think Cookie Brigade still has cookie pins?
We are going that way, so we're going to find out, I suppose.
I didn't get a Nyan Cat.
Well, it's not too late. Maybe.
It might be.
It's probably too late, but is it really too late?
I think it is. I don't see the bags. But that's okay.
Many games. There's Cookie Brigade.
Oh, I lost
my
it.
goodness.
I lost it right then and there. I went for the Cookie Brigade, and that was too much for the phone.
It's okay. There's Cookie Brigade. We're heading that way. We'll stop by, say hi. She'll check for her goods that she needs, and maybe we'll tour Tabletop Free Play while we're there. Let's follow along.
Meander.
Friends, family, countrymen, lend me your ear. You've arrived in Tabletop Free Play.
That
Did you like that?
that monologue gives me PTSD.
I'm sorry.
That was like my worst performance in class ever, where they were like I literally started crying in front of my class.
Oh,
it was
no.
bad.
Well, sorry to dredge that one up.
It's, like, fine.
Noted. It's like fine.
But like they were, I started too quiet, and they're like, you have to be louder, like the teacher was. So I yelled, like literally yelled, and they were like, no, and so I just started crying.
It's a challenging day. It's a tough day at the
This
office.
was in high school too.
Oh,
So like even more
better.
embarrassing.
So it's even more traumatizing.
Yes.
Slightly less I don't know. It depends. You're going to go
I can.
figure your stuff
I can
out?
ask real quick for Fortunado's sake.
Go right ahead. We can follow her. We can
Yeah, we'll
All
do
right.
a thing.
Let's have a look.
What do you want to do where?
Well,
No, that was quick.
All sold out. No
That's
more
fine.
beans.
that's fine. No more beans. We can probably take a stroll
this
through
way. Oh, what?
free play here.
This
yeah.
way?
Yeah.
Fine, just pick
Okay.
a direction.
we'll loop through free
Justin
play
is
here.
sick of our shit.
I mean, these are, to be fair, these are very challenging videos to put together for y'all. They're very complex technically. It's very dynamic down on the show floor. But we do our best, and he does too.
Justin does
Fine,
so
just
much.
pick a direction.
It's fine. Just pick a direction. Tabletop free play, as I mentioned, where you can bring games that you have
Found.
at your home or in the Tabletop HQ, which all the way in the back is basically the console free play library for tabletop games. A pretty expansive selection. Again, while board games aren't necessarily the main thrust of PAX, they are a major component of it. And you can go check out a board game that maybe you've wanted to play for a long time, or that is rare and you can't get your hands on physically. Try it out here, play it for a while, return it when you're done. Be nice with the equipment, be gentle,
Give it tender hugs.
give it tender hugs and a nice pat on the box when it's done.
Pat on the box.
Return it to
Stop
its home and be a good denizen of PAX. Generally a very respectful community of folks, but got to remind every now and then. We're going to take a quick detour here over to the left to show you something
Something
that
fun.
you've probably seen earlier in the weekend if you were following along with our antics and our shenanigans and all the stuff that we've had on tap. This is the Landfest Charity Stream Zone, where many fantastic content creators have been raising money for good causes, both Landfest and other third-party charities, all weekend long, all 4 days of the show. People have been at these stations raising money through Donor Drive, which is Landfest's conduit to this whole thing, and using the fantastic technologies donated and sponsored by companies like Zotac and Canon, which is very exciting. So we did that. That was us. We were there on Thursday night playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and we, again, raised over $300 for Child's Play, which was super fantastic. And again, if you were a part of that effort, we thank you, and we'll continue to thank you. Hope you're not tired of hearing it, because we're going to say it a lot. Wow. So this kind of tucked away in the at the side of the show floor in the back here, but very important and worthwhile stuff going on.
For sure.
For sure. Let's head on back.
This way?
This way.
Back where?
Back to the action, so to speak. So as we sort of meander back into the main sections of the show floor, any initial sort of opinions or thoughts about this year's show, especially compared to others? Off the top of your head.
That's for later.
That's for that's why I said
Spoilies.
initial.
I'm sorry,
We're not
it's
digging
spoilies.
super deep.
It's spoilies. I was told it's spoilies.
It's good. It feels like a return to form.
It does.
Of sorts. Anyway.
That's all I'm looking for. We don't have to. It doesn't have to be. Well, you're gonna get the deep dive on the separate podcast episode on Hypocritical. So there's your teaser. But yeah, spoiler alert. It has felt like very much the sort of return to form in terms of a lot of those different elements we talked about. Attendance in terms of just physical body count here, the types of vendors that are here, the caliber of vendors that are here, the caliber of events that are happening, and all of those disparate elements that make PAX what it is really have seemed to rev back up, especially in comparison to the last, I would say, well, they came back in person in 22, so that's 1, 2, 3 years of shows before this. But it really feels like a return to form, and that's a really good way to put it. We'll meander back toward the main floor and maybe take one last walk through, show some
Do we
other
want to
booths.
go up this side
Yes,
since we
let's
came
go.
down that
Let's
side?
go up this side. Give you one final look at things before we almost call it a show. We're like I said, we're hitting this pretty late in our schedule, later than usual, so it is again about 4 o'clock Eastern time. And the show closes in about 2 hours. You can hear the PAX Arena hype. We'll check one more time if there's any specific comments or notes from the populace.
The populace is quiet today.
Populace is quiet. Let's take a quick shot of the left here, maybe.
The foodies?
Of foodies. So one interesting bit, no outside food trucks this year. So a lot of what you're going to rely on for food is going to be here in sort of the vendor food court area and some of the marketplaces run by the convention center. We've certainly had our fair share of goodies this weekend from here.
And that is to say, physically, food trucks outside. There are no food trucks outside.
That's right.
In terms of these, I'm sure they're not convention center mainstays. Perhaps PAX mainstays. Correct. Wild Bill's does not exist outside of PAX.
It really doesn't.
I'm convinced Wild Bill's does not exist outside of PAX.
I've only ever seen it at PAX, so it can't be real.
Is it a regional thing? Like, where are they actually based?
Well, that's a good question. They want franchisees.
Want to sling the soda. One of these days, I'm actually going to do my research and figure out what they are, what they claim to be.
I mean, I think they're root beer.
Well, yeah. It's unclear. Craft Beverage Co. That could mean anything. They could sell sweaters.
I picked a lane. I don't think we've walked down it all yet.
No, that's great. Yeah, this is perfect. So again, we're just going
to us too.
Kind of bring you right down. I don't think we hit this at all, but we're going to bring you right down. And again, this is sort of the core, meat and potatoes of the experience, right? You have vendors selling merchandise and accessories. Clothing and wearables are obviously a big emphasis.
Instruments as well. You might hear an ocarina chilling back there.
There's a lot of goodies. Large companies.
And small.
Small companies. Non-gaming companies, like we saw, Verizon, T-Mobile, a lot of the brand opportunities there. And then smaller, like I said, smaller publishers, very, very independent development teams kind of doing their thing. And that smelled like pizza.
It does smell like pizza.
And I haven't eaten since, 9 a.m.? This was a mistake. Onward.
It's all good.
I will say, one of the advantages of doing these tours and walkthroughs at less populated times, you can actually navigate some of these side aisles and not be crushed by just the masses, but actually be able to move around reasonably quickly.
Here.
There's good old Black Magic. Yes, we are.
This stream brought to you by Nothing Black Magic. Trust me, other stuff is.
But hey, we lean on them. Sure do. Other folks like Fangamer,
I love Fangamer.
Other familiar names. Now we're more or less back where we came in, back at that first third. So that's a pretty good look, I think, at what's been going on here at PAX East 2025. Always nice to be back in Boston. Always nice to be back at the show, and it is one of our favorite and busiest weekends of the year. So we're gonna bring you a lot more stuff to come in the next few days. There's additional interviews. There's a podcast episode that we'll be bringing you sooner rather than later, and a lot more coverage to come. So it doesn't stop here. Keep it tuned to Hypocritic GG, especially on YouTube if you want to catch all of that. There's interviews up right now. There will be more trickling in over the next couple of days. 1 or 2 per day. Keep a steady cadence. And then we're going to sleep for like a month. Except
I'm going
for
to
the
work.
part where we can't actually sleep for. We'd like to sleep for a month, and that would be fun, but we don't get to. Well, alrighty, folks. Always appreciate you tuning in. This has been Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube, and this was our tour of the show floor of PAX East 2025. I'm Lil G Speak.
Tracy Cereal.
Justin saved the baloney.
We'll catch you back here real soon. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.